All right, aloha, Dave. Welcome back. How have you
Good to be
been?
back. I know it's been a few weeks.
Yeah. So, one of the big things I know that we missed is the hands-off protest. Did you go to that? I'm sure you probably did.
Actually, believe it or not, I was on my back with some kind of illness. I
Oh,
totally missed it.
all
I
right.
was,
That's the only thing that can stop you is an illness, huh?
yeah, I was out for like 3, 4 days.
Okay. So,
Still feeling it. Still feeling it. But I was able to. I'm glad you brought it up, especially right off the bat, because it's really interesting. At least here in Rochester, New York, I probably across the country as well. Um, a lot of different reactions to the protests all around the country. It
yes.
was which I thought was I sat back, especially because I wasn't able to go. I wasn't going to participate in that conversation, but I just thought it was very interesting. The um a lot of white folks wringing their hands that there weren't a lot of people of color at them, and then a lot of people of color saying, "Yeah, that's not our thing. We're not getting into that." And then some of the more harder core activists, I don't know what else to call them, who were just yelling at everybody,
Right. They
who
do
just like
that.
to yell at people. And it was just fascinating to watch everybody kind of do that Spider-Man meme where there's a bunch of Spider-Man pointing at each other kind of thing. It's kind of why we can't have nice things.
Right. So, I went and we went around trying to get people to sign the petition to get greens on the ballot or whatnot. I
Hmm.
talked to a lot of people, and there was quite. I got more no's than yes, and they were Democrats, and they were
Yep.
there talking about being progressive and fighting the oligarchy and all this and that.
Yep.
And I mean, we had this conversation a little bit, but just being at that rally, I got really disheartened. I got a little bit sad because I was just walking around and they just kept telling me no, and I'm like, you don't have to vote for us. Just
Yep.
put us on the ballot. Like, what do you mean no? Like, you don't like democracy?
Yeah. On it, it's been my experience in all the years of petitioning and getting people on the ballot that a lot of times it's more of the right-wing folks who will say, "Hey, I'm not going to vote for you, but if you want to run, you deserve to be on the ballot."
Right. Be more
And
open.
it's the progressives, the who, who like their version of real politic is just only two choices, good and evil, black and white, no nothing, no the brains can't handle more than two choices. Um and will even be active, which we've talked about, be active to keep us off the ballot, as the
Right. Yeah.
Democratic Party apparatus tends to do. And I just caught this yesterday. There's a follow-up rally or protest, whatever you want to call it,
Okay.
in downtown Rochester on Saturday, the 19th.
Okay.
And that will be in my window for petitioning. And I'm going to go, but Jordan, I'm expecting the same thing that you experienced. I'm expecting, and a lot of those folks are going to know me.
Right. Well, I
And,
really hope
and,
you have better luck than I did.
well, okay. So my petitioning starts today's the 13th, and my petitioning starts in 2 days on Tuesday, the 15th.
All
And I
right.
got about 6 weeks. So I will be, weather permitting, I will be 6 days a week knocking on doors. And then on weekends or whenever there's events, I'll be at those. So every Saturday at our public market on Saturdays, where it's still a little chilly here, so it won't be quite as many as like during the summer, but I'll be able to hit people there. We have something here, a 2 weekend lilac festival where a ton of people come, and I'll be able to get folks at that. And I've already been looking at like event calendars for the city of Rochester, and I got it down. I mean, I'm ready. For 6 weeks, I will not be at home.
I like it. I like it.
My wife
Driven.
knows that, we'll text each other, "I love you, honey," or I'll see her at night. It's, and so I saw this and I added it to the calendar and I'm going to go. But yeah, if I get 10, 15 signatures out of it, even though there'll be a few hundred people there, it's going to be a relatively good night, good
Right on.
day. Cause I'm going to hit that. Oh, we want this Democratic progressive on the ballot. I'm great. Awesome. So just sign mine and you'll get choice. And then when I will elevate the conversation to talk about a public utility and all these things that we say we want, but they won't talk about. No, I'm gonna get shut down by some Dems. It's gonna happen.
So yesterday, we had a meeting for the White Green Party, and one of the
Hmm.
things that we talked about was ranked choice voting.
Yep.
And so that'd be like, just saying that right now made me think that'd be a good thing at these rallies to talk to the people about is ranked choice voting. That way, you wouldn't really have to worry about losing the person, the safety person or whatever. Maybe try to get people to think about that. And maybe try to put that on the ballot or whatever, like the citizen initiative type deals. You guys have that there?
Yeah, there is, and a lot of people don't. First of all, don't know that it exists in the city of Rochester, but it's also not easy.
Right.
The amount of signatures you need to get for it, and then there's some hoops to jump through, but it is there. There was a group, which I was a part of. Wow. Oh no, it was the year I ran, so it was 2019. To get on the ballot for to create a police accountability board here in Rochester. And we had started going through those, jumping through those hoops, getting petition signatures and stuff like that. And city council saw the writing on the wall, and so they just went ahead and put it on the ballot themselves.
Right on.
So we didn't have to finish the process. And it was approved by like 75% of the voters.
Well, that's cool. So yeah, that might be an idea to maybe bring up at the rally. But when I was at the rally, they were making signs, like a lot of the different groups, Indivisible and DSA, and they were like, they brought cardboard and markers and all that, and to make signs
Yep.
there. Some had signs. And so one of the things I thought, and if you like the idea, please steal it, is like making a sign that says you can't fight the oligarchy without breaking the duopoly or something to that effect, right? Like, because you got
Yeah.
to bring to effect that the Democrats are part of it, but try to, I thought like maybe in a softer way than just saying the Democrats, right? But like they're using the oligarchy term now, like everyone is using the big words and knowing things. So really, the oligarchy is the duopoly. It's not just the Republicans, but and also I thought, you know, you got the pictures of Donald Trump and the Clintons growing up together, like their kids all young, and Donald Trump was hanging out with them.
Hmm.
But then you got Donald Trump and Barack Obama at the funeral of Jimmy Carter, all yucking it up and
Yeah.
laughing. Like those would be good signs too, to like have Donald Trump with the people that are supposed to be saving us, right? And they're all just buddies, and they're part of the same cabal or whatever you want to call it.
No, that's a great idea. If you're able to get those and blow them up, yeah, without question. Or even just having those, if you have folks who are uh, relatively on the internet enough to start posting those pictures around in terms of social media.
Yeah,
Just having it more in people's consciousness.
yeah, I see it on social media. Some I just was thinking about those rallies that it would be a good thing to have there. But
No, now I'm taking notes.
right. So yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before? I talked to Andy Ellis, and do you know who that is?
I know that name. I've heard that name.
Okay, he's running for governor of Maryland, and he's
Okay.
been in the Green Party 10 years. And so, how long have you been in the Green Party?
Woo. Um, I guess being in the Green Party, like how long we've had ballot status and registered and all that jazz. I've been involved with the Greens since Nader's first time running as a Green,
Oh
which
wow.
was yeah. No, it was like
Okay.
1996, somewhere in there.
Okay, you
I
are
have
an
to look it up.
original.
Whatever Nader's first run as a Green.
Nice, nice. Okay, so I don't know. Is there anything? So again, I probably asked you this a little bit, but if you got any other answers, people always ask me what the Greens have been doing, what they've done over time and stuff. So I keep asking people that just because I want people to know, right? I want just more answers, more stuff, so that people can know more about what the Greens are doing. Like Andy was telling me yesterday, how they do a lot of community stuff and they do it individually and they don't necessarily do it as the Green Party and they don't go with cameras and so like one Green Party person might go over here, one Green Party person might go over there, and they're just the type of people to donate their time but not necessarily coordinated through the Green Party to get attention
Hmm.
for the Green Party. And I was talking to him about how that might be something that we might should do, right? Like more coordinated with the Green Party, have a camera person there, if like say we got 5 people from the Green Party, make one of them a designated camera person, so that way we can document it and show it. Because even though that kind of slows down the work, if we get the word out and more people see it, then we could get more work done in the long run, right? So that was kind of my thought. But just going back on the original question, just a couple things that the Green Party has been doing in between the elections, not just Jill Stein or whatever.
Yeah, and well, I mean, that's part of the reason, of the reason I'm running locally as well. And in that, I've also been trying to lay that groundwork for other people to consider running themselves, whether it's something even small. Like you and I have talked. I mean, I'm running in a city of about 200,000 people, right? But in the surrounding suburbs, you could run for a town council where there's maybe 10,000 people or even less, 3,000 people, right? And those are just people who live in that municipality, not even ones who are registered to vote or who show up to vote.
Right.
So I mean, running for a village seat where literally 25 people show up to vote, right? And then you get on that and you do green parties, you do green stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just, hey, look, greens make things happen. Before marriage equality was enacted, not just nationally but in New York State, we had a mayor in New Paltz, New York, which is it's a college town. It's part of the state university system, SUNY New Paltz. We had a green mayor there, along with might have been for a while a majority on their town council were Greens. And the mayor's name was Jason West, and he, as mayor, he was performing same-sex marriages and got arrested for doing it.
Oh, okay.
Right. I mean, so that was like, hey, look, you put Greens in office, we walk the walk.
Right. Progressive stuff will get done.
Absolutely. And that was, and I firmly believe, I don't know how you would prove this, I firmly believe, while that wasn't the singular cause that it became legal in New York State, I think that was a huge push.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it is. Like you start marrying people and see nothing bad happens. Like the world didn't catch on fire, the Bibles
Right,
didn't
the
go
streets
up.
don't catch fire. Yeah, yeah.
So you can see, oh, they are people too. They can have a family and be normal or whatever. And who's normal anyway? Like that's like everyone's a little bit different, a little bit weird, right? So like there's no necessary way to have a normal family. So why are you trying to check weird things, like different things about other people's stuff? Like I don't like.
Right.
Talk about stay out of people's bedrooms, and the Republicans are the one who really want to be in somebody's bedroom and tell you what you can and can't do and what bathroom you can and can't go in. Like, it's so weird to me.
Yeah. So I mean, just doing that and getting involved at that smaller level. I mean, again, if I were to happen to win one of these 5 seats, just be in the top 5, it would be a huge upset. I mean, it really would. And this is a mid-sized city. I guess I can't say it's a small city. It's a mid-sized city. That would be huge because that doesn't happen these days.
Do you know how many votes you think you're going to need? That's one of the questions on all the questionnaires for the Green Party.
About 13,000, I think.
About 13,000.
Yeah.
So okay, if you're in New York City, man, try to get 13,000 people out. Or not New York City, Rochester.
This is in New York. That's I don't even. I get to see some of the conversations that happen with Greens in New York when they're running down there, and it's a whole nother animal.
Right, yeah. So Rochester's up north or whatnot.
Yeah, it's in between Buffalo and Syracuse. It's about 5.5 hours from New York.
So how much snow do you get?
We're all right. We get our share.
I know Buffalo will get like feet, right?
Yeah, it's really interesting. So we are in the middle, and we do get our share of like what they call lake effect snow.
Yeah.
But Buffalo has 2 lakes. They got Erie and Ontario. They get crushed, and then Syracuse has this other weird band where they get totally crushed. Now we get our share, but we just have this weird spot in the middle where it's if they get like 2 feet, we'll get 1 foot.
Okay.
We're still shoveling, but yeah, I mean.
I've seen a couple feet of snow here and there in my life, but I could go without it. Never seen it again, really.
You know, my students and I, we talk about that. That, you know, yeah, we got to shovel in the winter, but we don't get tornadoes here. We don't get tsunamis. We don't get generally no earthquakes or massive mudslides. This is not a bad place to live.
Right on.
It's really not. It's pretty safe.
Yeah. Hawaii doesn't get none of that stuff either, so.
Oh, I remember experiencing my first rainy season. I thought I was going to get washed into the ocean.
Oh man, I love the rain. Way far better than the snow. But I go
I
out like
had
because it's
never
like
seen
70 to
rain
80
like
degrees
that
when it rains,
before.
right? So just go play in the rain.
I hear you, but I had never seen rain like that in my life.
Right? Yeah. The,
That just like someone was pouring buckets outside my window.
well, see, from Ohio, it rains there a lot. Like when it does rain, like we'll have a day where it just rains all day long and it's just dumping.
Oh, sure.
So, but in Ohio, it's gloomy. It's real gray when it rains, and it's ugly. Like out here, you can have a totally blue
That's true.
sky, and it could be just dumping rain, and you're like, "There's no
Yes.
clouds, and it's raining on me." I thought that was weird the first time that happened to me.
Well, don't brag about that too much. You'll get even more people moving over there.
Well, as long as it's progressive, it's cool. just playing. Everybody's welcome. I was looking at your website. I
Yeah.
saw one of the top things was housing as a human right.
Yes.
That's big for me too. So, what if somebody's on drugs? What do you think?
Even more so.
Well, a lot of
And
people would
that's
say, well, they're on drugs. They're gonna keep doing it. So, okay, so is it housing as a human right? Like, do you get them off of drugs and put them in the thing, or do you let them do the drugs while they're in the thing and
so
try to get them off while they're in it?
so one of the it's a man. I'll try to make this short because I can make this go really long. So there was a time I had helped start a low powered FM community radio station here in Rochester, and there were a couple of groups that in the recovery community were doing shows, and I was there literally 7 days a week. I think I spent an entire year where there wasn't a day that I wasn't at the radio station.
Well, okay.
And so I board opped a lot of these shows. So I was engineering a lot of these shows, and I learned a lot. And then to the point where, when some of those folks found out what the activism that I did, they wrote me into working with them to try to help start a recovery high school.
Oh, wow.
And so within that, so to try and learn more about that, I actually went into training to be a recovery coach. So I was like the only person not struggling with addiction in this class. And I
Okay.
felt really awkward about it. It was just like everybody else was sharing stuff from their personal lives and they all knew who I was. And I had to go, I got nothing. I'm sorry. So from that experience, one of the things that I learned about was um, housing first method of in terms of recovery. And it's like get the person housed so that they don't have to worry about that. And then with support there to also deal with the recovery issues, they will be more successful in staying off of their addictive substance than if you know you have to get off the substance first before we'll give you a place to live.
Right.
It just works better housing first. And and this is not even an original idea. There are countries all over the world that know this and they're just doing this as part of being humanistic, right? But
Right.
it actually works. It's just here you have to quote pull yourself up by your own bootstraps first before anybody will give you anything. So that's where this idea of housing is a human right. You have an addiction, you have some other issue going on. Okay, but if we how make sure you have a place to live first, that takes so much stress off of you and makes it so much easier to deal with those other, for lack of a better term, demons or whatever it is you're dealing with. It makes it so much easier to be successful in that. So yeah, absolutely. For some folks, it seems counterintuitive. What? They're addicts. You can't just give them a place to live. Yes,
But,
you need to. If you want it to work, if you want the recovery stuff to work, you need to take care of those basic elements so
right.
that they can focus on their recovery.
Need a foundation, somewhere to go.
Absolutely.
But also something I tell people is that a lot of people don't know is that women, if you're on the street as a woman, the nighttime is a scary time, right? You don't want to go to sleep in certain places, so women will do stuff like meth or cocaine to stay awake at night so that they don't get abused, for lack of a
Hmm.
better word, right? They don't get,
Yeah, yeah,
and
of
so
course.
like when I tell people that, they're like, "Oh man, I never thought of that," right? So just if you got say a woman off the street, put her in housing, she might just stop right away because she doesn't need to. She doesn't. She can go to sleep now. She feels safe and whatnot.
Right.
But there's a lot of reasons for housing first, and just like I totally agree with that. So I wanted to have that a little bit on the conversation. I think that I saw something about gun violence on your website.
I don't have anything specific right now. I mean, I would say that dealing with economics and things like housing and just making a more um, equitable, humanistic kind of community will reduce gun violence.
Right. Yep.
Um, it also, and this is going to be, I'm once I get on the ballot and I can focus even more on issues. I mean, the Democrats who are running, I don't hear any of them talking about issues. To be honest with you, so far it feels like I'm the only one, and I'm not even on the ballot yet. Um, but I think that in Rochester, a lot of the gun violence is too well, and there's an interesting Venn diagram here that crossovers. Uh, Teens, young people, maybe early 20s, and then even if they're a little bit older, it's between two people who know each other.
Okay. Like yeah. So
Yeah,
like a fight,
and
there's
so
a
they're
reason for it. It's not just random.
yeah, so
Yeah.
it's not like, and not even like a robbery type thing. It's more like two people beefing, and this is the only way they know of how to deal with it,
Right.
right?
So
So having more resources. Oh, I know where this has come from, Jordan. Yeah, so having more resources to deal with, like in a more mediated sense, because we have a an organization that's been here in town for a really long time. In fact, I think it was standalone and it worked so well, the city government just kind of picked it up on their own, called Pathways to Peace. And they have like their ear to the ground on what's happening in the community. And when before anything gets really violent, when they hear about two individuals or two groups that are having issues, they try to insert themselves in it and try to get involved and mediate before it turns violent.
right on. That's a good
And it
idea.
really works well, but I think they're understaffed and underfunded. So I think that instead of putting money into more police, you put money into that to expanding that. And I think you're going to have a much better effect on violence in Rochester than you would if you just do, hey, let's just lock them all up.
Right. Yep. So I kind of I've had a couple outside the box thoughts on gun violence because we all talk about the same issues and whatnot.
Yeah.
I thought, and I think back in the 50s or 60s they used to have classes, but like I think that even in elementary school they should teach kids how to break down a gun safety stuff, but they should just do it in school because we're like a country that has guns everywhere and they're everywhere. But like probably in elementary school they should be fake guns, right? That are like replicas or whatever without bullets around. But then in high school they should learn how to use guns, break them down, and gun safety and whatnot. Because if we're in a place where you see guns everywhere, you should understand them. You should know how to use them. And I know that might be a bit extreme, but to me it adds knowledge, which is always good, but it also adds kind of a teacher job and whatnot. But then, say you are at a high school and you know all the kids have a gun class, you're probably not going to go shoot up that high school because all the kids are going to be armed. Not all, but the class will be armed at least. You have one little military class.
That's it. Okay, I'm gonna need time to process that because that's an interesting. I wouldn't have come up with that idea in a million years. So I don't want to immediately say, "Oh my knee jerk reaction says, oh my God, we can't do that."
Right.
But I need to process that
So
because
to me,
that is so outside the box that yeah, my brain's got to spin for that with that one.
yeah, I
So
do a lot of outside the box thinking, but like,
no,
of
that's
course,
cool. But yeah, I need to think about that for a bit.
so, okay. And one thing that made me think of it is that I've seen at least videos. I don't know if it's a movie, but I think it's supposed to be videos of kids in high school in America, and they do like these rifle classes, and they break down the rifle, put it together, and they're shooting and stuff. And it was like it was really regimented and really strict, and the kids just knew how to use a gun and stuff. And I don't think it should be like say military style. It should be like instructive style. Like they should learn with a handgun. They should learn just like the history of guns and what guns are and all about guns. From just because America loves guns so much that I think that we shouldn't just love them. We should respect them. If we're gonna do it like that.
So I don't have, like I said, I need to process
Yeah,
that
go
a
for
bit,
it.
but I can think of somebody who you should talk to about that idea. That is a perfect idea to talk with David Cobb about. And I think I brought up his name before. David ran for president with the Greens back in 2003, I want to say. And he's in Humboldt County in California, and he's just started his own podcast called Redneck Gone Green. And he's originally from Texas. And when he ran for office, he would say, I have a gun. I'm a card carrying member of the NRA, and I'm a Green. And it was, and he's able to talk about that from a much more personal perspective than I would. And I would love to hear his perspective on your idea.
Cool. And I'm personally not a fan of guns. I don't own a gun. I don't really even like guns. They're
Yeah,
just
no,
so prevalent in America that I want my kids to know about guns. I want my, like, just not to own them, but I want, if they see a gun, they know what to do. Like, they either leave it alone or
right?
break it down and go take a main piece to an adult and say here. Or my kids are kind of grown it now, so it'd be a little bit different. But
Right.
but like if they're little kids, at least. And then if you have gun safety, oh, we don't touch it. We go find an adult at the bare minimum, right? Just something like that. But is there anything you want to get into?
Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I am really. I got 2 days before my petitioning starts, and my life changes
Okay.
temporarily, anyway. So that's really been. It's like I'm like ready to go. Let's get this going. I just want to do this. It's not. It's anything like this. While it's hard work, um, and it is a pain, but it is campaigning. It makes you campaign. So if we had our ballot status back, it would be way easier. I'd have 6 weeks to get like 50 signatures of Greens, and it would be relatively easy and be laid back. But because I have to get so many, a minimum of 1,500 registered voters, but the goal is 2,500. Um, it makes you campaign. It makes you go door to door. It makes you go to these events. So it's actually a good thing, even though, again, it is a pain. At the end of that 6 weeks, my body's just going to be totally worn down.
Oh,
And I'll probably need new shoes and all that kind of jazz. But I'm just, it actually is makes you be a candidate. And so I'm just ready to go.
right
I
on.
do have, I had a little bit of being sick. I had to take a break. I was really getting involved for a change. And I think we've talked about this of being online more, doing more video based stuff.
Yeah.
Nothing elaborate. I'm not good at it. I've got people like giving me advice on how to be more fancy with videos. And I'm like, dude, I just don't have time to learn a new skill right now. I will, in the off season, but I'm about to petition. I don't have time to learn the skill. But I was really ramping it up and getting some good feedback in terms of how many people were viewing them and liking them and commenting, and it was going well. And I hit a little speed bump when I got really sick. But an idea that I had that I do want to put this out in the next day or so before petitioning starts. And I'm going to speak specifically to the city of Rochester, but this type of thing happens all over the country in the United States because housing is not a human right, or at least not treated as one.
Right.
It's a for-profit commodity. It's a way for people to make money. It's not a way for us to be safe and just be human beings. So there's a lot of housing projects that developers who have money, right? But they still get tax breaks and they get low interest loans and grants to build all of these things, all of these apartment projects, but they supposedly have to have so many units of quotes, I'm putting air quotes on purpose, affordable housing. But they never tell you what affordable is. Affordable to whom? They
Right.
just go, look what we're doing. We're making affordable housing. And there's so much, quote, affordable housing that's been built over the past, let's say, 10 years. We shouldn't have a single homeless person or family in our city, and yet we do.
Right.
So when you look at the numbers, and again, I'm going to speak to Rochester, and some of this does come from the feds and HUD. So where you live in the United States, this has some kind of effect on you as well. There's something called AMI, Area Median Income. And median income is pretty basic. It's in your area, whatever municipality, whatever piece of land you want to look at, there's what people make in terms of income right in the middle. There's half make more and half make less,
Right.
right? That's the median income. That's supposed to be a judge of where they base it from affordable. Then where they get you is the area. They don't tell you what area they use. So if they use the 9 county area, then the median income's about $75,000 a year. If they use just our county, then the median income's about $66,000 a year for income. But if you just use the city of Rochester, then the median income's only $33,000.
That's a big difference.
It's like half.
Yeah.
So they'll use the county's AMI or that 9 county region and
Oh, for the
say,
housing.
"Oh, look, this is affordable." but they
Right.
don't tell you which area. So you when you look at for like the counties, it's $850 a month is like considered affordable.
Right.
But if you live in the city of Rochester and you make less than that, you make like $30,000 a year,
Right.
you can't afford $850.
No.
Right. So, but they keep saying, "Look, affordable housing, affordable housing. Look at our little sheet."
So
And so,
I think the government should get involved in that a little more. Like if you have a place that's empty for like a year or two, I think the government should just like buy it and rent it. Like if you're not gonna use it and just let it sit there, then somebody needs to do something because we have more empty homes than homeless people, and that doesn't make
yep.
any sense. Like it's just stupid. Like even if you just gave it to them for free, it'd be better. They're
And I'm not
there.
a big tax person. I'm not really a financial person, but my understanding is if you own property and it's empty because and they give you the benefit of the doubt, you haven't been able to rent it, that you're able to write that off your taxes.
You know, we should definitely stop that. That's a terrible
Oh
idea.
yeah. Oh, there's some places that there are some folks who are actually uh, proposing that you get fined if you have
Yes,
empty.
yes, I agree with
Yes.
that.
Yeah. We have empty retail space. We have empty office space in the city of Rochester. We have empty apartments, and yet we keep approving these projects with tax breaks and grants and stuff to build more and more. There's
Man,
this thing called the inner loop, which is back in the 60s or 70s. I was a little kid. They just wiped out all these neighborhoods and made this like inner city expressway so that people could quote get
that's what we
around
need.
faster. And now they want to fill it in. And they
Er,
keep saying it's to bring communities back together and make things more equitable, but they've already started filling in some of it. And all they're doing is building more of this stuff, these empty apartment things with empty retail space, and they're just giving it's a giveaway to developers.
that
And
just
and so no one I'm like the boy who's saying that the emperor has no clothes. I'm the only one here saying, watch and see what they're going to put on this next part that they're going to fill in. It's just going to be gifts to developers, and it's going to be garbage, and it's going to sit there empty.
it seems crazy the stuff that we let people do like that. It makes no sense to have that like just doing that kind of madness like just
We're brainwashed that people with money know better.
right. I hate
They have our
that. I
best
hate that
interests in heart.
attitude. Like Elon Musk is the smartest man in the world. We must follow him. Like no, he's not. But,
He's got a rich dad. He was a
right?
Nazi as well,
Almost all of them have rich dads
right?
or moms, rich
Exactly.
families anyway. But I want to go back. You said that you were doing your what do you call that? Social media more. What are the platforms you use?
I do have so there is Facebook, there is Instagram. I am on Blue Sky. I'm not. I don't, I don't post that much to it, but I do post things whenever I post stuff to other places. I do try to get it on Blue Sky. I am on Twitter. I don't like it. I like every other day. I'm like, man, I should delete this thing. And but there's other people on there, and if I got to go where the people are,
Right.
there is a YouTube channel, um, and I use it whenever I put on social media on Instagram. If it's a reel or something, I'll put it on YouTube as well.
Okay.
And I think that's it. I
Right
know there's
on.
more, but what's that?
I said right on. When we get done, send me an email with all your links to the Insta, Facebook, all that, and I'll put it in the descriptions from now on.
Oh yeah, cool. So at the website with Dave for www.daveforchange.org, there
Okay.
is a tab at the top that says social media, and
Okay.
they're all there as well.
All right, I got the
Also,
website I'll be putting on, so
yeah, yeah.
okay, either works then. All right, right on, Dave. Let's see, was there? Well, you kind of already do that. Me and Andy, we were talking about. He has a site or a section on his site called Beyond Elections, and it talks about the stuff that just keep doing work when whether we win or lose, like keeping the keeping the community, keep doing things. But you already seem to do that, so you got any ideas on that? I mean, we kind of talk about that all the time anyway, so that's just kind of what the Green Party does, though, right?
Yeah, as much as other groups, especially like official nonprofits that have 501c3s that'll let you just find things to table at and just keep being there and just look. It's a tough road, just like because we were talking, today about folks who share our values but still just think the only way they can ever come to fruition or realization is through the Democratic Party. and you just got to keep being there. I mean, it gets frustrating, and it's there's nothing else to do. I mean, honestly, I mean, you could tune out. I don't know. I don't know how I could tune out. If
Right.
I don't get one of these seats, I don't know how I can say, okay, that's it, I'm done.
Right.
I'm just gonna stay home and do my own garden, and I just don't see how
Yeah.
me personally. Now, other folks have done that. I do
Right.
know that it's been frustrating. Go, man, come on, we can use your help, and they're tired, they're beaten, and I just I don't know how to get to them, and it. But like you said, five people go into a thing, and one person is the video person. Man, I would kill to have five people with me going going to an event.
Cool.
That would be a luxury. I'd be like, man, I
That,
wouldn't know what to do with everybody.
well, that's what I'm trying to
I'm,
get the Green Party to do. Like, try to get together now, go do more things as a group, so that we can
yep.
advertise it a little bit, because that's what people want. People keep asking me, "Where's Jill Stein and where's Butch Ware?" Like, they're not the only two, and plus, they're out there doing stuff. They just don't advertise it very well. Where the Democrats and the
Well,
Republicans, they advertise it very well.
well, when they're running a campaign, right? So there's people. Well, I was getting Jill Stein stuff every day during the campaign, and it, Butch is. If you folks who don't know, Butch Ware is running for governor of California.
Right.
And if you were on Jill's email list, you got added to Butch's email list. I get stuff from Butch. I think he has the same campaign manager.
Okay.
I think Jason Call is his
Yeah,
campaign
I
manager.
think so.
So, he's running again. He's running for governor now, and he's doing it to advance. Well, he's doing it to win, but he's also doing it to advance the same issues we were doing it in the presidential election. So Jill's still out there, but she doesn't have a staff. It's just her.
Mm.
I when she was in Rochester last year, I was the local person who staffed her. And so I was driving her around while she was in the car online tweeting and on phone calls, having meetings on the phone while as I'm driving her to New York City. And I mean this was it's a instead of a staff now, it's just for the most part her. So you're not going to see Jill Stein like you did during a presidential campaign. It's just not. She doesn't. It's not some rich corporate conglomerate that has all these people working for Jill. Now it's just Jill. Butch has. I don't know what his staff is like. I know he's at least got Jason. But he's got folks. So you're going to see more stuff from Butch. And now I'm not doing stuff for Jill. I'm doing stuff for me, and I'm
Right.
bugging people online about with my campaign. So it's you're not. I mean, pick one of the Democrats who lost the primary. I blocked them all out of my head. I don't know whoever. You don't see. I mean, you might see an AOC or a Bernie because they're doing that tour or
Right.
whatever. And other than that, you don't see anybody who else who ran as a Democratic challenger or to try to get Biden out. You don't hear from them. You haven't heard from Kamala in a while.
Yeah, she's been out for a while. She came back and said, "I told you so" not too long ago. Talking about Trump. You brought up how the Green Party. You said something about 501c3s, how they can donate or whatever, do more. Is
Well,
there?
so I'm sorry. Yeah, I was going somewhere. So, like for example, there's a just before we got on today, I had an email. There's a community group. I don't know if they're a 501c3 or not. If they're an official tax exempt thing, they're doing a an event in July where they wanted groups to come table, and it's supposed to be about community and things like that. So I put in for the Green Party to table at this thing. Now, if they're going to approve us, I don't know because again, we're in a political party.
Right.
They might turn us down, but I'm gonna try.
So that was kind of my question. Is there kind of like a 501c3 that kind of the Green Party either runs or works with the Green Party, or that
Well, the whole thing with that is you're tax exempt if you're a 501c3, but you are extremely limited as to how much political advocacy you can do.
well, because I know they got like the Clinton Foundation and the Trump Foundation, and they're allowed to be a 501c3, and they're obviously very political people. But like, just because you run a 501c3 doesn't mean as a person you can't be political. Because I've ran
Right.
a
Well, that's true.
501c3 before, but
If the Clinton Foundation has an event or something like that, they can't back a candidate. They can't. So I actually worked at I worked at one once where in the disability rights community, and we every year we would have a candidate forum for uh, elections, and because we were a 501c3, we had to invite everyone. I mean, we wanted to anyway, but if we left anybody out, they could come at us to get our status revoked because then we would be partisan. We would be
Yeah.
picking its side. You're not allowed to. So as long as you invited everybody. So actually, I can bring Jill into this. I think the first time she ran for office, I was working for this place, and she was coming to Rochester, and I was like, well, hey, she's a doctor, a medical doctor. We're a disability rights group. Why don't I invite her to come and speak? And I was like, look, we're okay. I was told by my supervisors, we can do that, but you have to invite every other presidential candidate to come to Rochester on that day and show up, including like I was finding like one state or parties in like Texas I'd never heard of, like the Pew Pew Party or something. I don't remember the name. I
That's
just
funny.
made that up. But I had to
It'd be
like
a good party
literally
though.
find an email address to the Pew Pew Party and email them saying, "Hey, Jill Stein's coming in 2 days. If your candidate wants to come too, you can."
Right.
Just to cover our
Keep it
bases to
fair,
make sure
yeah.
no one can say we were being partisan.
Well, I was thinking more like how when the Green Party goes out and does say like a cleanup or community garden, things like that, not necessarily like inviting candidates or anything like that, just going into the community. If there was like maybe a 501c3, or if it might be a good idea to like say like make a green C3, or call it green something, right? But obviously not Green Party, but where when you go out you just use the word green, but green could be anything, kind of, right? But
Oh yeah,
just
there's I can't speak for any place else, but in Rochester there's more than one that has green in their name and they
but
do
like
things.
are Green Party members like working with the organization or anything like that?
Not in an official capacity. I mean, everyone knows me as being the guy who is in the Green Party. I run for
Right.
office as a Green. I'm known as that, but I'm also on. Well, okay, this I didn't. This wasn't intentional, but I'm also on the board of a 501c3 called Greenovation. Okay,
Right.
it just happened that way, and our mission with that is like keeping things out of landfill,
Okay.
make sure things get recycled, upcycled, that kind of thing, rebought, stuff like that. And usually those streams in my roles aren't supposed to cross,
Right.
right? Or if the
See, I wasn't
Greenovation
necessarily
folks,
talking about crossing roles. How you said you'd love to have 5 people, right? If we did, like, just say we had a nonprofit or something like that, where you just told people in the Green Party, because people in the Green Party like to volunteer already, right? Like,
mhm,
oh, I got this nonprofit that's already a nonprofit that we can get donations or whatever, and then like just give them a place to kind of go, and then just like I just think that we need. It seems like we need a place to kind of come together when we donate our time or when we volunteer or whatnot.
a fellow Green and I have this dream that we've talked about forever about having a Green Party space. I mean, like both of the major parties here in Rochester have their own headquarters, but that is like if we do any effort we do on fundraising is going to go to campaigns right now, not to just have a headquarters just to have one, right? So I
Right.
hear you, but it is that kind of dream that someone would donate something to us or for $1 a year. But I think that's considered a political contribution as well.
I'm gonna try to look into that more because I know that there's a lot of political people that have nonprofits and whatnot. So
Mhm.
I just
And
feel
again,
like
those streams can't. I'm using a
yeah,
Ghostbusters reference. The streams can't cross, right? They can't. They're not supposed to anyway.
right.
Some folks do get a little bit fuzzy with that, but we won't mention any names.
Well, yeah, I'm not trying to get fuzzy with it, but I'm just trying to get more
No, I
done
totally
and
understand. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It's it, it's supposedly set up to keep things on the up and up. People find ways to get around it, and it's,
yeah,
I don't want anything I'm doing, even though it would help me as a Green, as a candidate, but I don't want it to hurt any organization or group that's in town that does good work. So
right, yeah,
I follow the rules. There's been a couple times where people in organizations who don't know these rules say, "Oh well, Dave, we'll come, we'll help you. There's your campaign." I'm like, "Whoa, I don't think you understand what that could mean." And then when I explain it to them, they go, "Oh yeah, we don't want to get our tax exempt status revoked."
right.
So they So there's some well-minded community members who don't know all of these rules.
Yeah, there are a lot of strange rules when people try to help people out that can
Yep.
get you in trouble for trying to be helpful.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Anything you got to say?
No, man, like I said, I'm just ready to go. Get some signatures. I got clipboards. I got everything all ready to go.
All right.
If there's anybody in New York State, so in New York State rules, because we don't have ballot status, it doesn't have to be registered Greens who can get signatures. It can be any registered voter in New York State.
Okay.
So if you're watching this in New York State and you want to take a roadie to Rochester and like on a Saturday or a Sunday and knock on some doors, there's a place you can sign up digitally online at the website. It's right there on the front. www.dayforchange.org. There's all these slots, dates, and times that, just sign up there. That way I'll know you're coming. I'll know to look for you. I can contact you to see if you need a place to stay, or I got couch, and we'll figure it out. And 6 weeks, man. The end of May, it's all over. I'll get on the ballot, and then I can be just a candidate. Not have to worry about getting on the ballot.
Okay, so does that mean for the next 6 weeks we won't be talking?
Let's just play it by ear. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Unless the weather's bad, I'm probably going to be outside.
Right
knocking
on,
doors
boy.
and doing something.
You are a committed man, so I understand that. We will just keep in touch, and if I don't see you in the next 6 weeks, keep it strong or whatnot, keep moving, and we'll keep talking in between.
Awesome. Yeah, and I'll be online, so I'll be doing reels and pictures and all that kind of stuff online with the progress. So.
Cool, sweet. And thanks for coming on, Dave.
Hey, thanks. It's good seeing you again, Jordan.
Right on, good to see you, sir.